In the world of licensed professionals, whether you're an engineer, an architect, you name it, your entire reputation can really hinge on a single decision. It's a high stakes game where accountability isn't just some corporate buzzword, it's literally the foundation of your entire career. So let's dive into a scenario that puts that very foundation to the ultimate test.
Okay, so we're going to tackle this thing head on. Here's the question we're going to solve together. We're looking at 4 different scenarios. Now, each one deals with professional conduct, but one of them is considered the absolute worst, the most egregious breach. Let's work through it and figure out which one it is.
The best way to solve a puzzle like this is always by process of elimination, right? So first up, let's just get the easy ones out of the way. The actions that aren't just okay, but are actually things you'd be praised for doing. So have a look at these two. Option A, doing pro bono work. That's just giving back to the community. It's an act of public service. And then you've got option C, participating in a peer review. That's all about keeping professional standards high and helping your colleagues get better. Both of these are obviously good things, so we can confidently take A and C right off the table. Easy. All right, now things start to get a little more interesting. We're down to 2 options, and frankly, they both cross an ethical line. But remember, we're looking for the most egregious breach. So let's check out our next scenario. It's definitely a problem, but is it the biggest one? So let's break down what option D is really saying. Essentially, this is about taking on a job you're not fully qualified to do. Sure, you might have some foundational knowledge, you know the basics, but you don't have the deep, proven expertise or the actual credentials for that specific task. You're kind of swimming out of your lane. And the core issue here, the technical term for it, is misrepresentation of expertise. Look, it's a huge breach of trust with your client, no question, and it could absolutely put the whole project in jeopardy. It is a clear violation. But is it worse than our final option? Let's see. And that brings us to our final option. This is the one, folks. This is what represents the most severe failure of a professional's core duty. This is where accountability doesn't just bend, it completely shatters. And here it is, option B, affixing your professional seal to work that was prepared by somebody else without conducting a thorough, independent review. I want you to really lock in on those 2 parts, professional seal and without a review, because that right there is the heart of this entire problem. Let's just walk through how this whole disaster unfolds. Step 1, totally fine. An associate prepares the work. That happens every single day. But step 2, that is the critical, fatal omission, the failure to review. And because of that, step 3 becomes a deliberate act of fraud. You're signing off on something you haven't actually validated yourself. It's a conscious choice to completely abandon your most important responsibility. So why? Why is this one specific act considered the absolute worst? Well, it's because it violates the most fundamental principle of what it means to be a licensed professional, the non-delegable duty of the seal. I really want you to let this sink in. Your seal is your promise. It is your personal, legally binding guarantee that you have used your professional skill and judgment, that you have personally reviewed every detail of that work, and that you alone, take full responsibility for it. You are putting your name, your reputation, your entire career on the line, and that promise cannot be outsourced, it cannot be delegated, it is yours and yours alone. So to sum it all up, what makes this the absolute worst? It's not just a mistake or an oversight, it is an active fraud that makes the whole system of having licensed professionals totally meaningless. And the consequences? They can be catastrophic. Think about a bridge collapsing or a building failing, because this directly endangers public safety. And ultimately, an act like this erodes public trust not just in you, but in your entire profession. And that's our answer. The key takeaway here is just the profound, immense responsibility that comes with that professional seal. It truly is the ultimate symbol of accountability. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. In your own work, in your practice, what checks and balances do you have in place to make absolutely sure this ultimate breach of trust could never, ever happen?